What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of On the Floor with Liv and Cor. I'm Cor, that's Liv, and this is another weekly episode where we are breaking down some fun stuff happening in the preseason leading up to the 2026 NCAA gymnastics season. Olivia, I want to know how your weekend was. It's so good to be on with you for yet another week of NCAA news.
We came back for another week. I had a great weekend. I was in East Lansing covering the Michigan State rivalry week game, which was so fun with the Big Ten Network. We did a bunch of digital social content, got to go to the game, and then I am an unbiased person. I love the Big Ten Conference, but I did go to Michigan and we won. So I am sporting a Michigan sweatshirt today
Go
in
blue.
of my Wolverines winning. Paul Bunyan is staying in Ann Arbor for another year.
I love it. I love it. I mean, you can never take the alma mater out of the person, I have to say.
Exactly.
Equally, this past weekend, I work at Pacific Range Gymnastics, and one of our athletes committed to UCLA. And so it was so fun to get to celebrate with Catherine Guy, who will be a part of the 2027 recruiting class, and welcome her to the Bruin family. So you can never take the alma mater away from us,
No,
but we are here to celebrate all things gymnastics all the time. So I love that you had a great weekend. I want to hear more about the Michigan State time when you were in East Lansing. I'm sure. Did you get to go to practice?
I did, and we will
Love it.
get
Okay. We
later.
won't spoil it. I want to hear about it a little bit later. Okay. As per usual, let's get things started with our bubbles of the week. But you guys, we have a first. We have a first. This week, Olivia and I got a very special package that arrived to us each individually, and I have it. Everyone on YouTube, you can see I'm showing it. This package arrived from Iowa Gymnastics with a handwritten note from me and Olivia with some very special gifts inside. The note was awesome. It was all about thanking us for bringing energy and passion into the sport of gymnastics, and we're super grateful for that. But Iowa Gymnastics, thank you for our gift. But this leads us to what that gift was. So, Olivia, let's bust out our bubbles of the week. You guys, locally sourced Wilson's Orchard and Farm sparkling water with energy
Our
from
two favorite things.
Iowa City. I mean, can you even?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. No notes.
Absolutely brilliant. I have yuzu mango sparkling water energy.
Lemon lime for me.
I love it. And we had one other flavor that came in here, and it
I think
was
it was a ginger, right?
peach ginger. Yeah, peach
That's
ginger.
exciting.
So we have to give a big shout out to the staff over at Iowa Gymnastics. Very grateful for you for these. It's very special. So these are our bubbles of the week. Thank you, Wilson's Orchard. And with that, three, two, one. Here we go.
Cheers, Core.
Cheers. Ooh. Ooh. The mango hits a little late. The yuzu is very forward.
Okay, it's interesting. It says daily dose of apple cider vinegar. You can taste the apple cider vinegar a little bit, but I'm not mad about that.
100 milligrams of natural caffeine, period. Sweetened with 8 grams of local honey. Daily
Upset.
dose of apple cider vinegar. Some probiotics. And then we have focus, lion's mane and theanine, which we could both use a little focus in our life.
Duh, for sure.
Yeah.
Love this. Shout
Thank
out Iowa. Thank you so much. If you live in the Iowa area, highly recommend picking them up and give it a try and let us know what you think.
I love it. I will say I have been to Wilson's Orchard and Farms before, and it's gorgeous this time of year. Huge sunflower fields, pumpkin patch, all beautiful flowers. Go and visit if you go to Iowa City. Anyways, up next, another weekly segment we are starting this week. It is called Liv's Lips of the Week. So, Liv, give us your lip suggestion. What does everyone need to have in their cosmetic bag to make sure they have the best lips ever?
Thank you. Thank you. Hold your applause. So, as you all know, I love lip gloss and lip balm, but this is a very special lip gloss lip balm. I arrived home from my trip to East Lansing to an Amazon package, and opened it to find Wicked lip gloss. To which I said, I didn't order that. To look at my boyfriend to go, did you order me that? He goes, no. To then remember that Corey told me on Friday, I ordered you something very special because you had to have it. And I'm obsessed. So it's green, of course, but wait, there's more. It's sparkly and it tints pink.
Okay,
So,
you
if
guys,
you were thinking that it's only Alphaba, no, no, ma'am, no, no. You tint pink.
amazing. Okay, you guys, I had to buy these for this for Liv. Number one, this is from REM Beauty, and it's like I was absolutely influenced by the ad. Um, it was Ariana Grande promoting this REM Beauty piece. This bottle that it's in, this container, whatever we call lip gloss containers, is shaped like the green elixir bottle that Elphaba hides under her pillow, which is what ultimately turned her green. Not to say that we're wicked nerds, but we're wicked
We're
nerds.
wicked nerds.
So, Olivia, have you been sleeping with it under your pillow?
Immediately. And do you see that tint, you guys?
It's so good.
Like,
I don't really
this
know
is
what this.
on air tint worthy.
I will have to say, I don't know what it means, but I did some research and it has something to do with like bringing out your own pH levels in your lips that like change the color. I saw all these like girls doing like half their lips so you could see the difference.
I am so obsessed with the fact that you know that. This is like any of the OG lip people. It's like the Tarte one that hit the ground running like 10 years ago and it did the same pH thing and everyone freaked out. I also want to note that the color is so popular. Just keep that in mind. So,
Okay. So, okay, this is Liv's Lips of the Week. We hope
this
that
is my
you guys,
lips.
would you suggest everyone goes and buys it?
Highly, highly, highly recommend, especially with the tint. I don't really know how it wears yet. I will update you on the wear timing, but all I'm going to say is when you see this in an Instagram story in the Big Ten studio before a meet, you know it's going down.
Amen. Amen.
My lips of the week.
Liv's Lips of the Week, a new segment. I can't
New
wait.
segment.
All right, let's cut to the chase. We have some news to update everyone on. You guys, last week we did some world championship updates, but admittedly, we recorded that episode before a lot of the meat of the competition. So we're excited to bring you guys some notes that we compiled based on some of the news that has happened since last Monday when we recorded our last episode. So I'm going to get started. Admittedly, we had been naming some amazing NCAA athletes that are participating or former NCAA athletes that had been participating at World Championships. And there was two individuals that came to my attention that I am so sorry that I left off of that list. From Stanford, Alana Walker is competing for Jamaica. And from LIU, Long Island University, we have an athlete, Danny, and I'm going to look up her last name because I forgot to put it in my notes. But Danny was also competing for Jamaica. And so she actually, and it's kind of fun. I did coach Danny at Arkansas Gymnastics Camp a couple summers ago. So it was fun to see her over there. Danny did bars and beam. Alana Walker did the all around. And Vince Smurrow from Stanford, the assistant coach from Stanford, was there coaching the Jamaican team. And the other person that was coaching the Jamaican team was Tony Ann Williams. So Tony Ann came back and coached those two WAG gymnasts, and it was so cool to see all of that. Alana has a huge double layout on floor. It was so rad to see. Um, and it was just so fun to continue to see kind of the legacy that Tony Ann and Danusha Francis had built for Team Jamaica being out on the world stage again. So kudos, shout out, Alana, Danny, you guys rock. So happy for Team Jamaica.
Great updates. It's another Worlds update that came to my timeline that obviously many of you saw, given that she is a world champion on that event, is China's Zhang Qinling, which that routine, if you have not seen it, is absolutely breathtaking. Initially, admittedly, I have not been keeping up as much as I would like to on the elite scene. And when I first saw her routine with the sideways swing down, I mean, it's not really a swing down when it's sideways, but she doesn't back hip circle. She literally just goes right to like the uprise position. OMG, I gasped at the beauty. It's just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. And then the rest of the routine, the rhythm is beautiful, the cleanliness is off the charts. Just that one of those routines that you rewatch frequently. Kind of like Kalia Namor on bars. It's just one of those that you rewatch. And so had to shout it out. I was just taken aback. It was stunning.
I love it. I love it. It was so gorgeous. But the other thing that I wanted to mention on the China routine was how precious it was when she won.
I
How
know.
happy she was. She put that flag around her shoulders and she was just so excited and it was so beautiful to see. So shout out to Zhang on that. Um, you guys, Danny's last name is Holmes, who compete Danny Holmes, who Daniela, I think is her full name, who competes for Team Jamaica and Long Island University. The other person that we wanted to mention, Kaya Tanskinen from the University of Missouri, who is competing for Finland, absolutely crushed it. I believe she ended up 15th in the world in the all-around standings. She posted an amazing quote, or there's an interview that she did that she just said that it would be so cool if she could make the all-around final and the world all-around final. Well, guess what, Kaya? You made it. You crushed it. You looked gorgeous out there. I even saw you on, I think a social post that I saw of best leotards. One of them was yours. You had a beautiful leotard for Team Finland out in World. So, congratulations, Kaya. So happy for you. I know you've put so much work into getting those routines out on the world stage through the summer and now into the World Championships. So, well done and keep crushing it.
Great updates. We're going to hit a couple of Twitter/X things that we saw pertaining to worlds. The first one is just plain simply Asia D'Amato on bars. Just so good. Just so good. And obviously, we've seen her sister Alice compete a lot, and obviously we've seen them both compete together. But in general, Asia's bars was just absolutely incredible. But what I adored was Alice watching at the gym, taking a break from practice, watching the routine. And when Asia lands, she just like puts her hands on her head and hits the ground and starts just like getting so emotional for her sister. And that just brought me so much joy. I felt what she was feeling in that moment. And I don't know what it's like to have a sibling compete in that situation in the same sport as you like that, but I can only imagine the magic that she was feeling. And so just a lovely, heartwarming timeline cleanse that I saw that just made me so happy.
Absolutely. Okay, sticking to the bars trend, did you see Australia's Kate McDonald on bars? You guys, if you haven't seen Kate McDonald's bars, you must stop everything, sit down, and watch her high flying Tkachev that she does. It was one of the most beautiful Tkachevs I've ever seen in my life. And of note, the coolest part about it was yes, it gets really high off of the high bar, but she also turns her hips over with above the bar. Like she's significantly above the bar when she gets to a horizontal position. And so it was so rad to see that. I will admit, Olivia's note that she put into our notes for this broadcast was world's best Tkachev, which we've seen some high flying Tkachevs. We've seen, I would say like Janae Honest from UCLA had a really big Tkachev. Back in the day, I think Anna Lee had a really huge Tkachev. There's a lot that I'm not considering. I just had those two top of mind. Yes, consider me a Bruin family member in that. But the Kate McDonald's Tkachev was something like we've never seen before. So kudos to you, Kate, and congratulations on that.
And it was directly connected to a pack salto. And because of what you mentioned, Corey, with the turnover at the horizontal position by the bar, the pack was seamless. That's another reason that that turnover made it even more impressive than the height, so to speak.
This Tkachev pack combination is bringing back Megan Skaggs laced bars, which,
Yes.
if you guys know us, we love a good Megan Skaggs moment. So this Tkachev pack, you guys go and watch it.
Speaking of go and watch it, Corey, Singapore's Amanda Yap legitimately put on a beam clinic. And I saw someone on X, Twitter, whatever it's called, put a video and they paused every time she hit key positions in skills. So switch ring position, paused, Front leg is well above horizontal. Head is completely back. Toe is right there touching, as we always say, like touch the bun or the ponytail. It's right there. Pause to a beautiful finish. She absorbs when she lands. It's very intentional about the bent knees so that she can work with the beam, not against the beam. Absolutely gorgeous. The front aerial, she takes off with a straight legs all the way through. She goes front aerial, straddle, double stag, all positions, literally perfection. And my note in our notes app was somewhere Kathy Johnson Clark is gasping for air, gasping,
Absolutely.
because it just, I have nothing to say, but that is artistic gymnastics.
Amen. Amen. The other thing I want to say about Amanda Yap was the lore that we heard of she competed in qualifications and then she got on an airplane and went back to Singapore because she had, I think, like a biochem test or something that she had to go and take, but she also wasn't expecting to make an event final because from what I understand, and I'm sure Scott Bregman will correct us after he watches this episode if we're incorrect, but I believe this was Singapore as a nation, the first time an athlete from Singapore was ever in a world event final, in gymnastics, which is huge.
Wow.
So Amanda Yap made the world event final after she had already gone back to Singapore, took her test, and then got back on a plane to go back to Jakarta to compete. So Amanda, we are big fans of yours, and also I hope every NCAA program is sliding into her DMs because I think that she would be a great NCAA gymnast. Just saying. And our last note that we saw from Twitter X, whatever you call it, which I also think I was just sitting here thinking that should be a t-shirt we make, Twitter X, whatever you call it,
Add it to the
um, is the Romanian oversplits that we saw at Worlds. Talk about Kathy Johnson Clark gasping for air. Amanda Yap leap positions, and Romanians oversplits. I'm not even going to speak any further to this, but go and check our Twitter accounts after this episode because we will be reposting it with lots of exclamation points and all capital letter text probably as soon as this we are done recording this episode because it's that exciting and worthy of you watching it. So that's that.
correct. Correct. So those were a lot of the amazing pieces of gymnastics we saw, but there was a lot of exciting awards and placements that we saw. So first and foremost, major kudos to Leanne Wong, silver in the all around. I know there's been some discussion about the scoring and whatever with between the gold and silver positions, but just massive kudos to her for completing an entire NCAA season and then coming into this world and elite run and going to the world championship and coming away with a silver medal. Kudos to her. And same thing from Jocelyn Robertson, coming off of an entire NCAA season and then going right into elite competition and the world championship. She comes away with a bronze medal on vault, which is just so exciting. I loved a TikTok she posted that was like, I have this test, this paper, this to do, but I'm a world medalist, and she was holding her medal up. It was just so sweet and so adorable, and absolute major kudos to her. Well done. Speaking of kudos, Donnell Wittenberg, gold on still rings. That routine was absolutely positively spectacular. First American man to win gold on rings at the World Championship. That in itself is like one of the most exciting things that gymnastics has seen in a long time. So, Don, we are very happy for you. Rounding it out here, we had Patty Hoops with the bronze on pommel. So exciting for him to see that come through. And then Brody Malone, another gold on high bar. And I know there was either an interview or a written piece where Brody mentioned that he talked to Donnell after Don won his gold medal, and Don said, "You're next. Like, it's your turn next." And then there he did. He went and he got the gold medal. And I know he's battled through so much to get to this point. So loved seeing the women from Team USA do great. And it was just so wonderful to see the men have an absolutely knockout world championship. So kudos to both teams.
Yeah, I'll add one note that we that I received behind the scenes. I actually had a phone call conversation with Miss Val this week, Valerie Condos-Field, the legendary former head coach from UCLA. And she mentioned to me that Donnell Wittenberg texted Valerie after Valerie congratulated him on the gold medal on rings. And what Don Don said was verbatim, it was, I never lost my motivation. It only increased my passion to go and get it. And to hear that, because he got injured on the GOAT tour after the 2024 games. And then to hear that he like recovered from an Achilles injury and then got back and now is the world champion on still rings, first ever American. Kudos to you, Don Don. And I just appreciate that mindset so much, so much to be learned and taken from that from an athlete perspective. Something else to note, two British athletes were on the podium for the WAG Women's Artistic Gymnastics floor exercise podium. So we had Ruby Evans and Abby Martin both on the floor podium. And I love watching the British on floor in particular. They have really great artistry. They have really great skill selection that I feel like really tailors to the athlete themselves. Giving some good facials as well. And I think that I just really enjoyed watching them out there. But you guys, the last awards corner note that I wanted to make um, in Mag Vault Finals, if you guys haven't watched a single piece of anything from all of Worlds last week, go on YouTube and search Men's Artistic Gymnastics World Championships Jakarta Vault Finals. You basically had to stick two vaults of really high difficulty in order to win. Like almost everyone of the eight that competed stuck one of their vaults, dart, right in like a toothpick in a club sandwich, if you will. And in particular, the gold medal went to Carlos Yulo, reigning Olympic champion on vault from the Philippines. His vaults were like, I have literally have chills thinking about it, sky high. But also when they did the slow motion of his vaults, every time he blocked off the table, he had completely open hips for as long as he possibly could before he needed to come down to the ground. It was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. But of the eight athletes that participated in that final, you saw technique like that from all of them. So if you haven't watched, it is literally fly high and stick the landing and Tim Daggett. We're just quoting all of the men's the men's commentators in this one. But fly high, stick the landing, and go and get a medal. But like you had to be like the best stick. It wasn't just sticking the landing. And so there was some amazing work in that vault final, and I highly encourage anyone to go and watch that final because it was incredible.
It was riveting, is the word I would use for it. Absolutely incredible. All right, great awards corner. We are done with Worlds for the time being, and let's jump into some NCAA highlights because preseason is well underway. So, one of the things that I saw this week that just took my breath away was footage of Auburn's Sophia Bell showcasing her Yurchenko double twist on vault. That was so bugs coated. The pop was great, the twist was tight, the landing was there. That is going to be one of the vaults to watch all season because that if she can maintain that level of execution and that difficulty throughout the season until April, that is a pure contender for the vault title. Full stop. It was to die.
This is week two in a row that we've seen Yurchenko double fulls talking about college athletes. So let's see. Will we have week three next week of an athlete doing a Yurchenko double full? Who's next? This could be a fun challenge. Um, you talked about Auburn. I also wanted to bring up a post that we saw from new Auburn athlete who just transferred from Florida, Kaylee Bluffstone, posted a video on beam doing a round off layout step out on the beam, fully on the beam. I'm not talking from down on the ground through a springboard. No, no, no. Kaylee Bluffstone is doing a round off layout step out, back layout step out on the beam. Period. period. Hello, anyone, Earth to anyone, that's hard and really impressive. That's what we have to say.
Yes, done.
That's
All
it.
right, let's stay in the state of Alabama because the state of Alabama had quite a week on social. First and foremost, we talked last week about the social content with Justin Spring and Amelia Hunley. That was just so funny. And as that's happened, I've seen more Bama content come in my For You section of my social, and I've loved every single second of it. But of note, Jamison Sears, her tumbling looks brilliant during their Ghosts and Goblins intra squad. We're getting into that Halloween intra squad time, so we're seeing some of this stuff. We saw her looking amazing, tons of sticks on vault. Also saw I just saw Ross like jumping over to the vault landing and like putting a tape measure down. And I was like, are we doing like a distance contest? Like, this is pretty fun. Like, I'm super into this. That was super fun. Tons of sticks that we saw there. Um, and then Chloe LaCourcier, who we had on the podcast last year to preview the national championship, announced that her sister has committed to Alabama and will be competing alongside her, I believe, next season. Is that right?
2027. Kate
2027.
Kate is a 2027 and
Okay.
so it'll be so exciting. That was so cool to see, and Kate even did her reveal of her college. It was down between Pitt Gymnastics and Alabama Gymnastics. And it's just so cool because then you get to see these pictures of Kate and Chloe both in Bama gear in Tuscaloosa. I think it'll be so cool. So really excited. Those are all some really good Alabama updates. I agree. I'm really glad you brought up the fact that you saw Ross like leaping at the mat on vault. And I did notice it was a tape measure. So in my head, I was like, are we doing distance from the vault? Are we doing distance your feet are away from each other to make sure you can get your heels together? I didn't know exactly what it was, but I
It was
saw
entertaining.
it was pure entertainment, but I feel like there was function to it, and we are
Yeah.
here for the function. Here for the function. Those are good updates. Uh, you guys, Big Ten gymnastics schedules came out this past week, which was pretty cool to see. Um, and I wanted to make one note. I don't know if people did the toothpick deep dive the way that I did, but I wanted to make sure it was seen that there are venues, two schools, that their venues are changing to bigger arenas when UCLA is coming to town. You guys, the Jordan Childs effect is real. We've seen the University of Illinois moving from a smaller venue to a larger venue, and we see Michigan State having another event for the second year in a row in the Breslin Center, which is going to be super duper cool. I am such a fan of moments like this. We can call it the Jordan Childs effect. I remember back, this is kind of the Caitlin Clark effect in her first year in the WNBA. It was so cool to see how some WNBA teams were having to leave their smaller home arena and go to larger NBA arenas to take on the impact of what kind of influence and fan engagement this is happening. And as you guys know, I'm a big nerd when it comes to fan engagement. So this was so exciting. And I'll be honest, I won't be shocked if more venues have to increase in size because we start to see some of the buzz that is getting created, especially with with the Stars happening this fall and so much buzz happening just around her being a gymnast and a collegiate athlete. I think it's so, so cool. So can't wait to see those venues get packed out, especially in Champaign, which typically doesn't see a high number of fans going to those events. Hopefully, we see a lot of fans going to an Illinois meet. Kind of similar to see what happened when UCLA went to Maryland last year and set an attendance record. And so I think we can see some really cool stuff from that. But I just wanted to highlight on top of Big Ten schedules getting released, we have some venue changes, which are super, super cool.
That's a great highlight. And obviously, UCLA is a buzzy team for so many reasons. They have incredible freshmen coming in, they have amazing returners, the Jordan Childs effect, all those things. And so it's not shocking that they've made those updates. But then, as we mentioned last week, Corey and I suspected that the Missouri cryptic news was that they were moving to a larger arena, and we were correct. And so while we see that with the UCLA and the Big Ten Conference, we're seeing it for full home schedules as well from other programs that have just continued to improve in the rankings and also show that they can pack arenas. So I think it's a really exciting time right now just for NCAA gymnastics fan engagement and pure desire and want. It's like literally econ 101. It's like supply and demand. People want to go, demand, and you go to a bigger arena. And so I hope we continue to see that. As you said, Core, I wouldn't be shocked if more schools accommodated larger crowds just in general for this season.
And shout out to the athletic directors for giving these programs permission to make shifts like this. It's not easy, and especially when you're balancing a men's basketball schedule, a women's basketball schedule, and adding on top of that the women's gymnastics schedule. It's not easy to make these moments happen. So shout out to the athletic directors, the administrators on campus for believing in the sport of gymnastics and being able to make this happen. Okay, Olivia. Last week, we talked about KJ Kindler on Instagram, which iconic, amazing. Also, did you see the KJ Kindler cameo in the, I think they're like 2026 athletes, like posted a TikTok, and KJ
Incredible.
Kindler's almost doing like a, what is that? The murder on the dance floor, kind of
Iconic.
like saunter through the locker room. Oh, she's reapplying the REM Beauty, Green Elixir PH, lip gloss, if we didn't know, because it's
It
what?
definitely doesn't keep the gloss wear for a while, but the tint is tinting.
We love, we love. Okay, but speaking of social media and speaking of OU alumni, Reagan Smith is on TikTok, everyone. She's making a comeback, and I thought it was so awesome. One of the other assistant coaches at Iowa State University, because Reagan Smith is now an assistant coach at Iowa State University. Uh, one of the other assistant coaches was like, you are an awesome human being with a lot of followers. You should absolutely be posting more. And so we're seeing these posts from Reagan Smith, which is so fun and it's so awesome. So I hope we get to see a lot more behind the scenes content of Iowa State gymnastics, which is so cool. For the last couple of years, we have been seeing some behind the scenes content from Sydney Converse, who is a alumni of Iowa State, who's a videographer, works for Beam Queen Boot Camp, and she's been doing a lot of great stuff for Iowa State. But now we're going to get to see some behind the scenes footage from Reagan Smith herself.
Love that. Okay, next update that there's been a lot of talk on the interwebs about. So we're just going to briefly, high level discuss it. LSU now has 9 people committed to their 2027 class. Nine. Nine. There's been a lot of discussion online about roster size, about how they're doing this, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have the answers. Corey doesn't have the answers. But what we do know is there are 9 athletes who are committed to go to LSU in 2027. What I've loved seeing, not just from LSU, we saw it UCLA as well, is recruits coming back to announce to the team that they have committed to the university and seeing the just joy and laughter and love and hugs. That is a newer trend that I've seen. Maybe it's been going on and we just haven't been like showing it as much, but I think that is awesome because one of the most important things about recruiting is while you might not be on the team with some of the athletes who are still there, they're setting the standard, they're creating the culture, and it's important to have connection with the incoming recruits, even if you won't be on a team with them for the sake of that camaraderie and you will always be a part of the alumni base together. So I'm loving this trend of recruits coming back and announcing their commitment to the school. But to circle back, 9 people committed is a lot of people. Don't know much more, but can agree with the interweb that it's a lot of people.
Okay, so I saw some comments come through about asking us some questions about how this is happening. And as Olivia mentioned, we're not college coaches. We know college coaches, but like We're not them. We're not on the front lines of recruiting. We're not on the front lines of the administrative side of all of this, nor the recruiting rules. Um, I do have some information of just factual data points that I want to make sure that fans do know are fact. One fact is that as of this summer, a roster cap number was put in place. So there cannot be more than 20 athletes on a NCAA women's gymnastics team roster. 20 is the number. Okay. Another fact that I know that is a little bit loose and is probably going to raise some questions, but I'm just giving it to you as a fact, is that because the roster cap got put in place and it was going to potentially cause some schools to have to remove people from their team because of the roster cap, a kind of like a grace period was allowed, or grace, uh, they're called designated athletes. Coaches of programs could put a mark on an athlete or athletes and name them a designated athlete. And by naming them a designated athlete, it basically says this person was at risk of being removed from the team. And because of that risk, we're not going to make that person be counted in your roster as a total number because it put them at risk of losing their opportunity to play sport. So this protected athletes on campuses as they were in the transfer portal to then go to another school and then be a part of that other school's roster cap. And this is where I am going to pose a question because I don't know of now that I have this information about this designated athlete, is my question I want to pose. And if you're a head coach listening to this, I would love to know your perspective. Please text Olivia and I. I want to know if administrators and athletic directors allowed their coaches to deem every current athlete on their roster a designated athlete, in which case, what that means to me is if a program already had 20 athletes on their roster and they deemed all 20 designated athletes, for the entirety of those 20 athletes' eligibility, technically your roster could get all the way up to 40.
That is so
So
confusing to me.
it's so confusing, but I'm in this world of like this year having nine, and now people are speculating could potentially, if Claire Pease commits to LSU as well, it could be 10 commits in one class. If they had named every person on their roster a designated athlete, technically those 10 athletes don't count against their roster cap. It only counts once they're seniors. Once they're seniors and everyone who's currently participating is not deemed a designated athlete, so again, I'm saying this is all speculation. I just heard about this designated athlete concept, and it's raising this question of the creativity of recruiting, of how they potentially navigated this. I think every university is going to be different of how they navigated the designated athlete, and I would just be curious to hear how people are thinking about it. But the fact we know is that the roster cap is 20 and that there is something in place with this designated athlete that people are going to be using in different ways. I will say this does raise the question. There are 6 lineup spots per event.
Correct.
That's what I
Math,
that's what I will say.
math, math.
Math. So we have 2 more pieces of NCAA news. But we did want to cover that because there was a question about that on YouTube. Um, okay, Olivia, talk about TikTok. We go back to KJ, we go back to Reagan. Did you see the TikTok of head coach of Michigan, Myliana Kanewa Hermelin, whatever all of the names, buying a purse in Jakarta with Janelle McDonald?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was almost like, bear with me on this. Bear with me. It gave me like when you're watching a reality show and in the like on social, the people on the reality show do social together, even though on the show they're like against like coaches for different universities against it, whatever. It gave that to me. It kind of gave like Dancing with the Stars when they make the funny TikToks during the week and then it's like you're competing against each other in the ballroom. That's what that gave me. I loved every single second of it. It was awesome. I loved seeing two Big Ten coaches in Jakarta. That was amazing. Obviously, Janelle was there with Emma Malabuyo as well for Team Philippines, but it was very cool to see that Miley was recruiting at the World Championships.
So cool. It was so cool. Okay, the last piece of news. I have to get this update. We teased everyone with it, but what is the update? I think you went to Michigan State practice, gymnastics practice.
Yes.
I know that for a fact because we saw an iconic TikTok Instagram reel of you getting to actually touch the iconic Michigan State leotards that you said in our rapid fire questions last week would be the leotards that you would wear. So, of course, if you guys haven't seen that piece of content, go to Liv's Instagram and TikTok and go and like it, comment it, all the things. Liv, how did Michigan State look?
Well, first of all, thank you to the Michigan State coaches for welcoming me to just come to practice. I had never watched Michigan State practice not at a meet on practice day. So it was a new experience for me, which was awesome. I came on the first day, they were doing floor routines. So they were doing new choreo with passes into Resi. They had quite an intense floor cardio assignment that was insane. And all the athletes, when they heard it, were like, oh, great. But it confirms why their endurance is great on floor, that this is what they're doing. I did also learn that they recently put a Resi mat by the floor so the athletes could tumble, like do your dance, pause, walk over, and tumble. Before that, they used to have to walk up stairs to go upstairs. So imagine doing a floor routine, but having to walk up and down stairs. I just was mind blown by that. But my highlights, Olivia Zarmani looks absolutely off the chart spectacular. We saw that brilliant vault from her last year at the Big Ten Championship. She looks incredible. Nikki Smith looks amazing. I love seeing her be so successful. I got to see freshman Lilia Kosman do some gymnastics. She was on the Romanian team in Paris. She is navigating a couple little nagging injuries, but I got to see her swing some bars, which was stunning, do some floor work. So really excited to have her in the Big Ten. Emma Meisenheimer, I saw compete, do some floor work. That was great. She's working on a full twisting double back, which is beautiful. And Amy Doyle, who all of the coaches unanimously individually told me that she is going to be an absolute stud. So if you're already thinking about your fantasy drafting and whatnot, Amy Doyle should be very high on your radar because she looks amazing. And then seeing Sage Kellerman was so much fun. But the team has some pretty amazing depth. I'm just excited to see what they do this year because how they looked in October was pretty dang good.
I love it. I love it. One of my favorite parts of the weekend was seeing assistant coach Nicole Curler post on her Instagram story that they ran into a celebrity on the field, and that celebrity was your very own, right here, Olivia Karas.
So
Yes.
silly. So silly.
It was awesome. Oh, that sounds so cool. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm sure it kind of got you all excited for
Oh
season.
yeah.
You got to like go and check it out in person. So, that's so awesome. Well, that's the news and notes that we have for today.
News and notes, but before we close out, since it is spooky week with Halloween, I thought, Corey, we could do a really fun, quick Halloween rapid fire just to get them the spooky season feel, and then we can wrap it up for today. Are you down?
Sounds good. That sounds
Okay.
good.
Corey, I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to answer it, and then I'm going to give you my answer, and we're just going to fly through.
Okay, I'm in. I'm
I
in.
asked
No,
you earlier about
yeah.
how many questions I should do. You told me seven just felt right. So there's seven questions.
Perfect. Now that I'm thinking about it, we probably should have done 13 because that feels like a very Halloweeny number, but we're gonna go with seven.
We're going to go with seven. Okay, question number one. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Mike and Ike's.
Hot tamales. Now, what is your favorite chocolate Halloween candy?
Snickers.
Peanut M&Ms.
Also a good one.
Nice. Number two, would you rather go to a haunted house or a pumpkin patch?
Pumpkin patch. Are you kidding me?
Same. 100% hate haunted houses. I'm good. No. Number three, what is your favorite Halloween movie?
Ooh, um, it's the one with the Phantom Megaplex, the Disney Channel original movie. Um, when it's the movie where they go to the movie theater, like there's a movie theater and then there's a ghost inside of the movie theater that like keeps haunting them.
Is that what? No, that's not what Tower of Terror is based on, right?
No, no, hold on.
While you're doing that, mine is Hocus Pocus. I know
Okay.
that's pretty basic, but
The update is that the name of the movie is called Phantom of the Megaplex.
of course.
Okay, I love Hocus Pocus too. Okay, carry on.
Two good ones. Okay, number four. What was your most iconic childhood Halloween costume?
Simba.
I cannot believe you just said that. Mine was a lion.
Stop. Are you
I
kidding?
have photos. Mom, can you pull those photos? I know you're listening. I
Wait,
have photos.
Donna, if you have photos of me in the Simba costume,
Yeah.
please pull them up. I will have to do a sidebar on this. Talk about me not liking haunted houses. I'm such a scaredy cat that I was actually afraid of my Lion King costume. So my parents actually like ex did a little bit of exposure therapy, and I slept with my Halloween costume prior to, so that I felt comfortable wearing it prior to. So that was how the Simba unfolded.
I love that for you. One other timely element for me is I went as Dorothy three separate times. So I did love a ruby slipper moment.
It's good to see her, isn't it?
Good news. Okay, number five. Um, what are some Halloween intra squad suggestions you have for college teams? Like we're talking like you know what I mean, like a ghost versus goblins or like a whatever.
You
Do
go
you
first.
have some suggestions
You
for
go first.
I mean mine has to be Elphaba versus Glinda.
I mean, that just feels right. That feels
It
right.
feels right.
Um,
Green versus pink. It makes sense.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go 6 versus 7.
Ew! That was horrible, but so funny at the same time. It's okay. I would only be on seven because I'm in group seven.
Wait,
Okay.
was that question 6 or 7?
Question six. Candy corn, love it or hate it?
Hate it.
I like it.
It's kind of a pointless candy to me.
I see that. I will always take some if they're out. I won't actively purchase them.
I love the fanfare and like the iconic Halloween aspect of it because they don't use that kind of candy to become some other holiday.
Right.
I love that because I love fanfare, but that doesn't do anything for me.
Got it. Okay. Final question, number seven. What is a costume you want to see this year?
Ooh, Dr. Dillamond.
That is so good. So good.
I want to see a Dr. Dillamond costume.
You know, I was watching some clips from the New York dog Halloween parade, and I saw someone dress their wiener dog up as Taylor Swift's engagement ring. They had like the tip of the finger at the top of the head, and then like a little diamond on its back, and then a big like poster board that the owner held up with a circle on the hand. It pretty much did me in. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh my God, I just need to take a beat and just recognize the fact that you were taking time to watch the New York City Halloween dog parade. You just seamlessly got glided past that one.
I don't prefer Halloween personally, but now that I have two dogs, I love dressing my dogs up. So
I
get ready
bet.
for this content of Tony and Maya. You're gonna love it.
Wait, what costume do you want to see this year?
Well, like I kind of the ring was kind of what I was leaning into, but I know someone's already done it, so I kind of can't really choose that. Oh gosh, I know I wrote these questions and I didn't even really think about it. I
Okay.
want something that'll make me laugh.
Okay, I will tell you that there was a costume I saw that did make me laugh, although inherently it's not funny, but it was like cool that someone laser focused on it. They dressed up as um Mark Ballas and Whitney Levitt's cha-cha
I
dance
saw this.
in the iconic lime green flapper pants and like the black and white polka dot top, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Any Dancing with the Stars dress up, I'm super here for.
I love it. I love it. Liv, those were such great questions. Thanks for like putting together 6 or 7 questions that we could do for Halloween. She's quiet. She's silent. She's not like listening to me. And on that note, this is the end of episode 3 of our preseason season of On the Floor with Liv and Core. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out the REM Beauty lip gloss, lip stain, lip oil, whatever it's called. I was completely influenced. You guys, Iowa Gymnastics, thank you so much for our bubbles today from Wilson's Orchard and Farm in Iowa City, locally sourced. It is delicious, by the way. But on that note, we hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Have an amazing and safe Halloween, and we will see you when the Christmas decorations are up. All right, with that,
Mariah's defrosting.
all right, bye bye.